Okay, this is something I've been wanting to show people for quite a while. What you see before you is a stack of store-bought sugar cookies. I didn't have a cake at the moment, with a candle on top. And that candle is something I made. I use only store-bought materials for it. Actually very easy to do. It is not my original idea, or at least the whole idea of making a candle from this kind of a cookie is not my idea. The flame is my idea. The ones that I'd seen before, let's see if I can get it closer, had a cookie flame, which doesn't really look like anything more than a cookie shaped like a flame. This is candy. It's transparent. It has a toothpick, so it looks like there's a wick in it. And it just looks so much more real, and I think better than the original one I heard about. And it even has, if you look on this side, looks like wax dripping down one side of it. Like I said, this is very easy. It is perhaps a bit time consuming, but with the different cultures that have candles around Christmas, there's never really very many candles. I think Hanukkah has, I think they have 8 candles. St. Lucy wreath has candles. Advent is 4 seasons, and then a candle for the birth. Candles are just all over around this time of the year. And I can show you easily how to make your own, and they are completely edible. Outside of the toothpick and the stick, it's on to hold it in place on top of your cake. So we are going to start with the ingredients first. Okay, here are the ingredients and prep work you have to do. You need to start with the cookie base. I have covered up brand names, but they are the wafer cookies that are rolled around a cream center. They look like this. Because I'm using white, I did not get the double chocolate ones. If you're using a color, for example, red or green or purple and pink for Advent, you might be able to use a chocolate, but I'm just using white. You also need a bamboo skewer. You will usually see there's one side that has the cream almost up to the end, and the other side that has the cream kind of far in there. You need to very carefully stick the skewer in that side, several inches. So you have what looks like this. Okay. And then you need candy melts. Again, I covered up the brand name. If you have a superstore around, back in the craft department, any craft department that has cake decorating supplies will have these. My local one also had red and green for Christmas. They usually have an ivory and chocolate. I am not certain how or if you can color it yourself, but I know there are mail order places out there that you can buy just about any color of these that you want. I imagine using paste color you'd be able to color this though without it messing up too bad. It's really different flavors of brown. For the next thing you need to get is red, orange, and yellow hard candies, which have been crushed to a fine powder. I collect mortars and pestles, so I had plenty of things like that. If you don't have a mortar and pestle, then plastic bag and start whacking it with something heavy until you get it down to about sand. As you use it, if you feel the larger crystals, just throw those back. And you can just put them in a heavy. So that's one thing that you have to prep, and I have them all set to go. These are silicone pinch bowls. Show you how that works. You can pinch it shut and you make your own little pour spout. If you want to do it that way, usually I end up just kind of putting it on with my fingers. But if you do want to do it that way, if you have a lot to do, double layer of paper cupcake cup will stand in for those very, very well. And then the next thing you need is a blowtorch. This is my kitchen blowtorch. I think it's probably the funnest thing I have in my kitchen to use. And I use it for a lot of different things. But that is what you use to make the candles. And at the very beginning, the night before, at least several hours before you're planning on making your cookies, you need to prep flat toothpicks with black food color. I got, let's see, put it on the white background. There we go. I got paste. Actually, I already had black paste color. I mixed a bit of it into some water and smeared it on with my finger that I had wrapped in plastic wrap so it didn't stain my skin. You don't need to go all the way down, but you should do the round end, the round large end, not the pointy end. This is the part that's going to be going in the cookies. The reason I didn't go all the way down on these, I think I only went about halfway. This one's a little bit longer than most of them. Is I don't know how much the color might leach into the white chocolate, given the time. Normally I would make these the day I bake the cake, or planning on baking and serving the cake. You also will need a piece of foil. And believe it or not, when you're melting the chocolate, you can hold the foil in your hand. There's that much control with one of these things. Now, if you do not have this, pull up one layer, smooth it all flat. That gives you nice texture in the flour. Shame on you, go get one. But otherwise, you can use a foil-covered cookie sheet in a hot oven. I am not certain of the time or the temperature involved in that. That would be kind of... I would prefer always to use the blowtorch because you have better control. You would have to try and put the toothpick into the hot pan or onto the hot pan. Be harder to lay your colors appropriately. So this is the way to go, but you can do an oven one too. Now, first step in making the cookies, besides your prep of crushing the candy for the flame and coloring your toothpicks for the flame, is to dip the cookie. And for that, you just follow the directions on the bag.